Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday evening here with us on our YouTube channel. As usual, we're going to go through some of the articles that we're on Shamati number 17. So let's take a look at that without further ado. And if you have any questions, as usual, shoot them through. We'll try to find answers from the texts together. And let's just go into Shamati number 17. What does it mean that the Sitra Achra is called Malchut without a crown? Okay, Sitra Achra means the other side. It's the egoistic side, basically, the evil side. And let's see how we can get something for our inner work from this article. Shamati 17, what does it mean that the Sitra Achra is called Malchut without a crown? Crown means Keter, and Keter is the emanator and root. Holiness is connected to the root, meaning that holiness is considered being in equivalence of form with its root. This means that as our root, namely the Creator, wants only to bestow, as it is written, his desire to do good to the creatures, so the holiness is only to bestow upon the Creator. The Sitra Achra, meaning the other side, however, is not. She aims only to receive for herself. For this reason, she is not adhered to the root, being Keter. This is why the Sitra Achra is referred to as having no crown. In other words, she has no Keter because she is separated from the Keter. Now we can understand that what our sages said. All who add subtract. This means that if you add to the count, it subtracts. It is written, it is the same here, relating to what is inside. It writes, moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains. Relating to what is outside, it writes 11 curtains. Adding letters, meaning adding the Ain, which is the Hebrew letter, Ain, to the 12, and subtracting from the count. It subtracts 1 from the number 12 because of the addition of the Ain to the 12. It's known that calculation is implemented only in Malchut, who calculates the height of the degree through the Or Choser, the reflected light. Also, it is known that Malchut is called the will to receive for oneself. When she annuls her will to receive before the root and does not want to receive, but only to give to the root, like the root, which is a desire to bestow, then Malchut, called Ani, becomes Ein, nothing, with an Aleph. Only then does she extend the light of Keter to build her Parzuf and becomes 12 Parzufim of Kedusha. However, when she wants to receive for herself, she becomes the evil Ein, the evil eye. In other words, where there is a combination of Ein, meaning annulment before the root, which is keter, it has become ein, meaning seeing and knowing within reason. This is called adding. It means that one wants to add knowing to faith and work within reason. In other words, she says that it is more worthwhile to work within reason, and then the will to receive will not object to the work. This causes a flaw, meaning that they were separated from the keter, called the desire to bestow, which is the root. There is no longer the matter of equivalence of form with the root called keter. For this reason, the Sitra Achra is called Malchut without a crown. It means that Malchut of the Sitra Achra does not have adhesion with the Keter. For this reason, they have only 11 parts of him without parts of Keter. This is the meaning of what our sages said, 99 died of evil eye, meaning because they have no quality of Keter. It means that the Malchut in them, being the will to receive, does not want to annul before the root, called Keter. This means that they do not want to make of the Ani, called the will to receive, a quality of Ein, nothing, which is the annulment of the will to receive. Instead, they want to add, and this is called the evil Ein, which is the eye, evil eye. That is where there should be ein with aleph, the first letter in the word ein. They insert the evil ein, which is the I, and that's the first letter in the word. Thus, they fall from their degree due to lack of devekut with the root. This is the meaning of what our sages said. Anyone who is proud, the Creator says, he and I cannot dwell in the same abode, as he makes two authorities. However, when one is the state of ein and annuls himself before the root, meaning that one's sole intention is only to bestow, like the root, you find that there is only one authority here, the authority of the Creator. Then all that one receives in the world is only in order to bestow upon the Creator. This is the meaning of what he said, the whole world was created only for me, and I to serve my Maker. For this reason, I must receive all the degrees in the world so that I can give everything to the Creator, which is called to serve my Maker. All right. Sounds like a bit of a tough cookie. Any questions? Okay, it sounds like a bit of a misunderstood article, right? The reason it is because in Hebrew, sometimes you can change letters, but the word will sound the same, like ein, okay? Switch aleph with the letter ein, and then you, instead of having ein, you have ein. Okay, so the article is explaining something actually basic. There are two parts to spirituality. Okay? If I want to connect with the Creator, I have to become nothing. Nothing means ein. Okay? Like Ein Sof. Remember, we have the word Ein Sof. Ein Sof means no end. So Ein means none. It doesn't exist. Okay? Ein, on the other hand, means the I. Okay? So if I am in my desire to receive for myself, then I have an evil I. Then the Ein became the Ein. Okay? That's basically what it's saying. So there are two basically parts to spirituality. I can be in order to bestow, or I can be in order to receive. If I'm in order to receive for myself, it's called the Sitra Achra. Okay, the Sitra Achra is called the other side, the non-holy side. And if I want to bestow, then I'm on the side of Kedusha, which is holiness. Right? So basically, there's two states to a person. We're either bestowing, we're in holiness, called Kedusha, or we're receiving for ourselves, and that's called the Sitra Achra, the evil side. And that's it. That's all the article is explaining to us. What we want to be, is, what we need to actually understand is that in spirituality, we'll be going back and forth between these two states because I can't get to the good state if I don't see the bad state. Right? So the Sitra Achra has to be there for us, and we have to go into it. We have to see what the evil is, and having seen what it is, we then have to convert it to bestowal. So we can't have good without the bad. Okay, and this is why we walk on two legs. So these are states that we have to go through. We cannot delete states. Okay, we have to go through them. So that's basically what it's trying to tell us. Okay, and every time we should discover the Sitra Achra, we should see the bad, and then we should want to correct it. And once we correct it, it means we've used a desire that we have in order to connect with the Creator. Right? So does that make sense? Okay. Handan's asking, is the Sitra Achra Lolishma, egoistic desire to receive, all the same thing? Yeah, we could say it's the same thing. Okay, every time I see the desire to receive, working for myself, it's Lolishma, it's the Sitra Achra. Yeah. Does it have different names because it manifests within us under different conditions and or levels? At the end of the day, there are only two states, like I said. You are a desire to receive pleasure. That's neutral. Two ways to use it, either for your benefit or for bestowal for the benefit of others. That's it. There's no other way, right? So it's all good. It's all the same thing. And then can we purify our intention to avoid falling into the Sitra Achra during our pre-transitional stages of the Mahsam, and how? Can we? You can't purify your intention until you cross the Mahsam. Okay, because crossing the Mahsam is where you start purifying. Are prayer and intention sufficient? Look, the prayer is sufficient. The intention is the outcome of a good prayer, okay? Because the intention to bestow is what we're trying to attain, all right? So the prayer should give me a good intention, should change my intention to bestow. But how are you going to get to a prayer is the whole work, okay? So I can't just sit and pray. I have to be in the process. Sarah is asking. The article says, this is the meaning of what our sages said. Anyone who is proud, the Creator says, he and I cannot dwell in the same abode, as he makes two authorities. Sometimes I feel proud that the Creator has brought me and all the friends into the work. How can I add an intention to this feeling, to pride, so that it does not create two authorities? By trying to correct yourself and always trying to bestow. What should we be proud in? We should be proud in having an opportunity, okay? But how am I going to use that correctly? By applying the right attitude, which is to always engage in correction and bestow, love of others and bestow, okay? Devran's asking, at some point along the path, will the ego accept spirituality? Oh, it will have to. It will have to, one way or another. But you want to do it the good way and not the other way. Is the Sitra Achra an illusion that we want the Malchut without Keter? is the Sitra Achra an illusion? Nothing, look, when we're inside reality, it doesn't feel like an illusion, right? It feels real. You see, if I pinch myself, it hurts, okay? So life is real. So when we feel the Sitra Ahra, we will feel that we are egoistic and we don't care about anybody and we really want to use and abuse people. We'll feel it, okay? And feeling it is not enough to change it. You need to feel that you're in that state, and then you have to build a desire to get out of that state, right? So seeing it is one thing, trying to get out of it is a different ball game. But nevertheless, it has to happen. Devran's asking again, can we at some point along the path, under the condition of there's none else besides him, feel as if we are passing the ball to our dancing with the Creator in life? To our what? To our dance with the Creator in life. Can we at some point along the path, under the condition of there's none else beside him, feel as if we are passing the ball to or dancing with the Creator in life? You should always feel like, how should I react all the time? All right? Life's conditions are oncoming. And I should always be like, okay, now how should I relate? How should I contra? How should I do something in order to advance to the goal? Right? So that's how we should always be thinking about it. If you're going to throw the ball and wait, okay, then you'll just get hit. So, two things you need to do in order not to get hit. One, be proactive. A lot of people like to sit and wait. Not a good idea. Right? It's also not a good idea in corporeality either. If you want to get something done, you go get it done. Right? So same in spirituality. You should always be looking to see where you can go forward. Sumaya is asking, how can a person come to a state of nullity against the egoism that is revealed as they acquire spirituality? It's hard. You have to use the environment. Okay, you have to use the environment. And you have to understand that you have to nullify yourself. This is why we have to study all the time. All the time. Okay. When you give a bit of a break, your ego will start jumping up and down again. So a person has to be sharp. Okay, you have to be on top of your game. This is like being a professional, okay, at your job. You've got to be on top of your game. You have to be sharp. You've got to be up to date. Okay. Also, in your professional life as well, there's one thing you cannot afford to do, and that's stop learning. Okay. Even if you're the CEO, even if you own the company, one thing you cannot afford to do is to stop learning, because then you're going to get taken out. Right? Same in our business. So a person should always be on top of their game, learning, researching, doing, adding, and then measuring the feedback. Okay. So I'm always aware of the emotions I'm going through, the thoughts that come to me, how I would like these thoughts to be, and so on. And measure it according to the goal which you want to attain according to your understanding now. Right? Then you can start making adjustments. It's like driving a car, right? So I can go right a little bit, left a little bit, stay on the road. Okay. Nikkei is asking, is that Nikkei or Nike? How can I distinguish between wanting to move forward in spirituality and the evil inclination showing itself? The evil inclination should show itself if you want to advance in spirituality correctly. Advancing in spirituality correctly means that I am actively engaging in loving other people, and then my ego will not want to love other people, obviously. Then you can see your evil. The evil isn't going to come out if I'm just sitting around. Okay, it's just not going to happen. What happens between people, right? Look at the relationships we have in life. If I never met anybody, I'm never going to have a drama with anybody, right? But if I meet people, if I'm in touch with them, if I do business with them, I don't know, if I do all kinds of things in life with them, I'm likely to have problems, right? We're going to have ego issues, right? Like we do in life. It's the same thing here. So the evil, the egoistic side of a person is not going to come out without us engaging in the love of others. When you engage with the love of others, then you will see how much you love yourself. That's how it's going to happen, right? All of the bad things in us can only come out if I try to attain something which is contra to my nature, right? And that's laws of nature. All right, this is like very practical stuff. Okay. 10 to 1's asking. So the feedback is the emotions or feelings we get. That's right. All of your emotions, your feelings, what you went through, what you're going through after the act is feedback. Now, what are you going to do with that feedback? Right? You can't just leave it. You have to now use the feedback, the emotions and the feelings from your current state, and then think, well, what am I supposed to do with these? And there'll come a time when you won't know what to do with them. And when you don't know what to do with them, you have to go back in to the books. This is why they're writing thousands and thousands of pages, so that you can find what you're going through in the book and then learn what to do with it. And this is why the books of Kabbalists are very, very precious. They have everything that we will go through. Zohar, all the volumes, 26 of them Baal HaSulam wrote, 26 volumes. This big, right? This thick. Okay? And the text isn't like, they're like very small text. Let's see. Right? This is Talmud Eser Sefirot, right? So this, you see, small text, double columns, pages and pages, 6 volumes, all talking about what I should be going through. Right? So we have to find ourselves in the books. All right. Okay. Such as asking, from time to time we experience drops in motivation. Is it the framework that keeps us on the path? That's a good question. It certainly is. In life, I don't like to use motivation much. Okay. Motivation is not a good word. Motivation doesn't last long either. What's a better word for success? Is discipline, not motivation. All right. So if you're disciplined, what does discipline mean? It means it doesn't matter how I feel. It means I go and get the job done. That's discipline. Motivation, motivation is I got to feel good so I can get my butt off the couch and do something. And that's not reliable. Okay, so the framework, the discipline, and the emotional bond with the friends will help you to keep discipline. If you feel emotionally connected to your friends, then that is the best way, because you'll have an emotional trigger in you compelling you to do something. And that's the best way to do it. Better than discipline. But if you don't have that, discipline is what we're building as well. Right? So for example, every morning we get up early, right? We get up early and we study, like from 2:40 in the morning till 5:30 in the morning. It's crazy, right? Why would you wake up in the middle of the night and do all kinds of silly things, read books and stuff? But it it develops commitment, it develops desire, it develops exceptional inner strength to carry out things that you want to do. Right? So it builds a person. When everybody's sleeping, you're up and running. This is how successful people become successful. When you're sleeping, many business people are up and running at 4 o'clock in the morning. You get a good start. Get up early, get a good start. This is exactly how life works as well. It's for regular life as well. You can read it in many books. Many successful people in life intentionally get up early when everybody's sleeping. Yeah. I used to do that in the office as well when I was in Australia. Used to be at the office really, really early, like 7. By the time everybody came, my day was already over. Everything else was bonus. No distractions, nothing. Got my to-do list, take it all out, nobody to talk to. You can finish everything before everybody came. So then I realized most of the day was going about, I was wasting a lot of time just chatting with people and everything, because everybody's asking something, how to do this, how to do that, what to do with this client, what to do with that client. But when nobody's around, you get everything done. Okay? So what we're doing is very logical. Sometimes people say, oh, why this, why that? Well, because when everybody's sleeping, you get a lot done. All right? Helen's asking, is continuing to work even in despair blind faith, or is it beyond reason? Continuing to work even in despair is a necessity if you want to be successful. And a lot of people in life don't do the things they want to do in life, because when they experience a little bit of hardship here and there, it turns into despair and they let it go. So despair for us is when we understand that our nature or our strength is not enough to change our nature. So then a person needs to come to a very important situation, a state, which is called a prayer. So despair is not a bad thing. Despair is a good thing if you know how to use it. Unfortunately, many people fall off the bandwagon when they feel despair. So hopefully you're not going to fall off the bandwagon, right, Pelin? No, no, you won't. You'll be fine. Stick with the group. Everything will be fine. The important thing is creating an emotional connection with your friends, because then you feel you're tied to them. You feel like you can't let them go. You feel like they're family. Okay. And you don't want to let them go, even though you don't feel like getting up, you feel weak and this and that. If you connect emotionally with the friends, then you begin to feel a connection, which is like, something you didn't feel before. Why? Because there's the creator in it. This is why when we study the wisdom of Kabbalah, all of a sudden, people we just met become really close. We feel like they're really close. Like, why are they so close? Right? Because the creator is between us. And that's exactly why we have that feeling, because we have the same goal. We want to grow up together. We want to connect together in order to connect with the Creator. So the Creator creates a connection between us. But we have to work on it. We can't take it for granted. Okay? You have to work on it all the time. It's like we always say, right? If you want to keep the fire going, you got to put the wood in the fireplace, and you've got to keep feeding the fireplace. Same with our connection. We constantly have to feed the fire to keep it all alive and running between us. All right. Emotic is asking. The Creator brings a person to the work and gradually reveals the truth. However, sometimes I want to respond to him, but I feel less strength than I did the day before, and sometimes more. Is this because my will to receive is growing and objecting to the work, or because I haven't taken proper care of my framework? It could be both. Look, sometimes we can have a really good framework and we're keeping it, and we may feel really weak and heavy. Okay, it's normal. It happens. You can't always feel like He-Man or Superman, or I don't know what other superhero there is out there. Okay, even if you got in spirituality, you will, even if you're keeping a good framework, you're there every day, you will feel heavy, you'll have downs, you will have hits, and you will have, you will fall. Just fine. Why is it fine? Because we know it's going to happen beforehand. No surprises here. It needs to happen. If you don't have a hard life, you don't learn anything in life. You just end up being someone stupid. Only if you have a hard life full of challenges, everything's like really squeezing you all the time, it builds emotional strength, it builds intelligence, it builds perspective. Same in spirituality. So our egoism is going to get heavier and heavier. It will not give us much breathing space, and we're going to have to work on it. But it's normal. Okay? It's not a surprise, it's normal. Sechkin's asking, is it possible to want to bestow and not want to receive for myself? How can a person bestow without first receiving? Yeah, no, we can't want that. Who wants to receive, who wants to bestow and not receive anything? We could never do that. We are a desire to receive. We can never want to bestow. We can only want to receive with an intention to bestow. But we can never want to bestow. All right, bestowal is the creator. This is why we've got to work on the concept of, why do I want to receive? For whose benefit am I receiving? Why am I doing this? Who's going to benefit from this? So we always have to live in the intention, not in the desire. Okay, so this is why if you're following the desire all the time, it's like they say, right? The scientists are all talking about human nature now. If you're constantly chasing fulfillment in your desire, you're going to be running after dopamine, right? And it's not going to work out really well for you, okay? Because you always have to increase it, and then you also increase the unfulfillment as well. So it never will balance out. This is why a person has to live not in the fulfillment, but in why they want to get something. This is also reflected in corporeal success as well. Many people who are successful, they understand why they want to be successful, not what they're going to get out of their success. You see what I mean? They are stronger in their intentional action to be something they want. That is focus. And we should focus on the intention as well. Why we want to come to spirituality, why I want to attain spirituality. And always raise the importance of the meaning of life, the purpose of life. If we don't increase that, we'll also fall again into the desire to receive. We'll start complaining. We're not having any pleasure. We're not having any fun, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You know, the standard procedure. Okay. By the way, studying Kabbalah doesn't mean you shouldn't have fun. You should go and have a good life, enjoy life. Not a problem. Kabbalists don't say don't enjoy life. Okay. You can go have a good life, work, go on a holiday. We go on holiday every year. Hmm? You guys know I don't hide anything from you. We go out on the weekends and so on. Yeah. You can have a normal, good, regular life where you're also having some fun, enjoying your family time or your friends. That's fine. It has nothing to do with spirituality. Spirituality is what's here at the back of your mind, where you're constantly thinking that the purpose of your life is to attain spirituality, and that's the main thing. And you're always working on it, but this doesn't mean you have to cancel having a good life. Okay, and a lot of new students have a problem understanding that, thinking they have to cancel or restrict everything. No, go out, have a good dinner, go out, have a good meal, have a good weekend, have a good vacation. Has nothing to do in stopping your advancement. You don't have to stop your regular life. You have to add on to your regular life spirituality. Then you can balance it out properly. Okay? Otherwise, if you try to cancel everything you're doing and then dive into spirituality, then you get bogged down. Then it's a drama. Okay? So do we have to innovate the way we see others? Example, looking at others as parts of my soul. Thus rejecting others is rejecting a part of my soul. Well, it's not a bad exercise if you want to do it as an exercise. See how long you can tolerate that. It's not a bad idea. At the end of the day, we, from our study in the perception of reality, how are we perceiving reality? Through our own inner traits. Okay, so we see reality according to what we are. So when I see the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful, I have to evaluate everything a bit neutrally, okay? Because at the end of the day, I didn't create me, but I have to kind of like from what I feel, what I see, I have to think about how I can use the study, the wisdom of Kabbalah, how I can study in order to get closer and closer to this intention to bestow, to this attribute of love of others and bestowal. All right, just looking at others as part of my soul is not enough. Like I always say, like the Kabbalists are always advising us, we have to be proactive. So I see things in a certain way. What's my next move? Okay, so what do I have to do with this? If I don't have any feedback, okay, that's also fine. I've got no feedback. So the question remains, what should I do now to move forward? Let's say today you haven't revealed anything about yourself. Okay. Let's say you went to work, you had an evening with the family, everything is honky-dory, no real dramas, it's all good. Okay, fine. Now, what should I be doing in order to take another step forward? So that question is always on the plate, right? As we say, always on the cards. What to do now to move forward in any case. All right, but in short, the article is talking about the same things that we studied before. 2 ways to use your desire to receive, either for yourself or to bestow to others. And if we have friends, then I can make choices. Okay, I can say, should I go after my desire now? Or should I go after the desire of the friends? And what is the desire of the friends? Well, all of us really have one desire if we're going to study here, right? If we're all studying together, what's our desire? To attain spirituality, right? So now I'm left in between decisions, and that's where you can make analysis. All right. So I have my own desires that I want to go after, and then I've got spiritual desires that I want to, this spiritual desire that I want to attain. I've got my corporeal environment, and I've got my spiritual environment, and I'm now in between. So now I can make a choice. Okay. What am I going to decide? How am I going to decide on what to do? It's going to be based on how important something is for me. Mm-hmm. And that's how it is. This is why you don't have to change anything in life. You just integrate yourself into the study, and then you start to make decisions according to what you feel is important for you. That allows you already an opportunity. It gives you an opportunity. It allows you to grow, because now you're in between 2 states: corporeal desires, the things that I want to go after in life, and the spiritual desire, which is the purpose of life. Now I can really feel like I'm in a dilemma. Otherwise, in corporeality, there is no dilemma. You want to eat, you go to eat. You want to go to the movies, you go to the movies. You want to go make money, you go make money. There are no dilemmas. Dilemma starts when you're in between 2 opposite desires. All right? Patricia's asking, what does it mean to attain spirituality? Let's contemplate on that for a while. If my current situation is this corporeal life, okay, let's think about it logically, right? Let's come to a logical conclusion rather than some kind of a mystical one like you find in other places. Our current life is corporeal. I feel my life in this body. And I look at life and I understand it's going to end. So there's only one way, or 2 ways in our case, to live it. If I want to live a corporeal life, I'm going to try and stuff myself with all kinds of pleasures which I think I can get from this life. And I will definitely end up dead. Either way, it's a bad deal. Right? It's a bad deal. It's like we're born with a bad deal. Everybody has a bad destiny. Second option is they say, Kabbalists are saying, hey, you can get spiritual. Okay, well, great. What do I have to do? Or you have to get out of your self-concern. You have to get out of your self-importance. You have to get out of your self-love, right? And if you get out of your self-love, you can feel something much more elevated, much more aloof, let's say, or exalted than your current deadly state, let's say. And that feeling and sensation is like you're free from the shackles of this corporeal existence. So how can that feeling exist in me while I'm also in corporeality? Right? Because we live in a body. At the end of the day, if I attain spirituality, I'm still going to have a body as well. So we understand that spirituality is a state of experience where I feel free from myself. And then if I feel free from my self-concern and thought, then I can actually be independent from my body. Why? Because the body, our corporeal existence as well, is always demanding things that will make it feel good all the time. So our perception, when it changes, we can feel life in a different way. Now, why am I explaining it like this and not just giving you a straight out of the book definition? Because we have to understand that it's a process of growth. So while having a corporeal life, we should be able to have also a sensation next to that corporeal life of something out of corporeality. This is like, it's like when we have kids, right? Before we have kids, we're like, yeah, whatever, it's my life. It's my life. I can do what I want to do, right? There was a song like that in the 90s. Okay? It's my life. But when you have kids, you understand it's not your life anymore. It's somebody else's life. And then you start to not think so much about yourself because you begin to understand that there's something else you must think about, and that's not you. It's somebody else. That already gives you a fresh new perspective and a new feeling. A new feeling and a comparative feeling between your previous state and now. So which means that you're living in two states at the same time. So it's logical that a person can actually feel a new reality after a shift in the way they approach and observe life with a different lens. Isn't that right? People who have kids can understand that once you have kids, you don't have a life. Okay? You don't have a life. They have a life, but you don't have a life. And the interesting thing with that is you're okay with it. We feel okay with that. You know what? It's okay. I don't have to go and do what I want to do. I'm okay looking after this little thing, and it feels okay. That's a shift in perception. Mm. What else? Ingrid's asking, hello, should I think how to help my friend? Yes, we should always think about how we can help our friends. You're right. That's correct. The more we think about how to help our friends, is actually an opportunity for us to feel life above ourselves. This is why friendship is really important in the study of Kabbalah. Developing the ability to love somebody completely foreign to you can give a person a really exalted sense of happiness and freedom from self-concern. With our children, we feel these things naturally because we feel like they're a part of us, right? This is why, you don't love the neighbor's children so much. You love your children, but the neighbor's children, However, if we develop this love towards each other, it will allow us to get a sensation, a feeling of how differently reality can be felt. So yeah, definitely. Pelin's asking, is loneliness such a painful and difficult feeling in life because even the creator does not desire it? Being alone is very, very bad, and we will see in humanity, well, we're already seeing it in humanity, that loneliness can make you physically really sick. Being alone, contactless, is like a big drama. It's a big problem, even for corporeal sicknesses, physically, body-wise. It's not a good thing at all. In fact, being in a relationship that's not so great, right? Compared to being in no relationship is better. Because either way, you've got some contact with someone. It's true. It's true. But everybody wants to be alone. So what can you do? Why? Because we don't want to have a headache. But it's a problem for humanity, and they're going to have to get over it. Yeet is asking, okay, this will be the last question. Sometimes I remind myself that I just need to stay quiet, focus on my work, and do my part within the group. We want to reach to a stage that connection and mutual respect and love. When I share with my group that we should aim to love people first instead of expecting others to love us, I sometimes notice that not everyone shows that same sense of care or appreciation towards others. My question is, in that situation, should I simply stay calm and continue doing my work quietly, or should I bring it up and encourage the friends to go after spirituality, which to love others? Meaning more in an evaluation. All right, rule number 1, don't tell your friends what to do. Okay, because if you tell your friends what to do, they're going to be irritated. It's normal. Okay? It's normal. Don't tell them what to do. You just work on the love of friends. And you become a good example without implying anything. Don't imply anything. Don't tell your friends what to do. You just work on the love of friends sincerely, open-heartedly, and that's it. Focus on it, and that's all. All right? But don't tell your friends what to do because they will be irritated. All right, so we're all done here. Did I miss questions? Let me see. They said I missed questions. Every question here is a thumbs up. So it doesn't look like I've missed anything. All the questions have a thumbs up here. All right. All right. So we'll see you guys next Tuesday, hopefully. Also, I'd like to just give you a heads up. We're going to have an English program coming up soon on a new YouTube channel. This is strictly for the general public, where we'll be discussing the reason for all our problems at an individual, family, societal, international level, like humanity level. the reason for all our problems and the solutions. So this is going to be completely new for the general public. It won't have anything to do with Kabbalah. We're not going to use the word Kabbalah at all. We'll be just talking about everything from the side of the laws of nature. So stay in touch, and we'll give details as we open that new channel up as well. And hopefully that will also help some dissemination about life and how we should live life together from the perspective of laws of nature. In the interim, though, have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time, hopefully.